peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Good afternoon, viewers. Thank you very much. Welcome to Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from the command center of Punchline Political Command Center, all the way from Mombasa in the Sarova Sands, White Sands Hotel. We came down in Mombasa to find how tourism has returned to this part of the world and how Kenya, how we can improve. How best can we encourage people to come to do domestic tourism, and how many people from outside Kenya are coming down to the hotels to improve the tourism, to encourage others to come. Thank you very much. I am Dr. David Matsanga, reporting live from Sarova White Sands Hotel in Mombasa. Good afternoon, Miriam in the studio. Good afternoon, Professor Onyari in the CBD. Good afternoon, Sean Wesonga, our political investigative journalist, all the way from the Republic of Kenya, right in the Nairobi, in the northeast of Nairobi, on the super highway of Thika. I believe that's where you are located. Thank you very much, all of you viewers, wherever you are, in Cairo, in Accra, in Lagos, in Abuja. Thank you very much in Kinshasa, in Dar es Salaam. Thank you very much in Harare. Thank you very much in Kampala, in Bujumbura. Wherever you are, thank you very much. Wherever you are in Dar es Salaam, thank you. Mogadishu, thank you very much. Kisimayo, thank you very much. Wherever you are in Malawi, Blantyre, Lilongwe, Banjul, Bangui, thank you very much. In Tripoli, Libya, thank you very much. Wherever you are in Bujumbura, wherever you are in Rwanda, all these are the capital cities of Africa. Wherever you are in Tunisia, good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you very much. This is Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from Sarova Sands Hotel, White Sands Hotel in Mombasa. Back to you, Miriam, in the studio.
All right, very well. Thank you so much, Doc, for that introduction. And before we just get into the headlines today and into our topics, which, by the way, perhaps I should run us through, we will start with Kenya, where we look at the COVID-19. Are we on course to flat curve? And also, is corruption a curse that leads to conflict? And then Kenya, still politics of no destiny. And still in Kenya, drums of war being sounded. A lot of things have been happening lately in this country, so we have to look at what really is happening there. And then after that, we shall look at some other countries in outside Kenya, that is the rest of Africa, and we shall look at Tanzania elections and the pandemic. We know Tanzania is going to its elections on the 28th of October, just about next month. So what's really happening in Tanzania? And also Uganda is expected to go to its general elections early next year. Also there with the scientific elections that Doctor keep trying to explain to us, and not test tubes, and yet they're really saying they're committed in delivering scientific elections. Are there prospects there that can even happen? And then, of course, we shall move to Libya, bleeding without pain, the chaos that have continued there in Libya, one of the forgotten wars in this conflicts in this continent. And then finally, we shall conclude with Zimbabwe, a nation recovering from pain of sanctions. And that is something that we've been looking at lately because, these are conversations that are important in this continent and we have to look at. So before we get into that, let me just bring us up to date with the latest figures. And in Kenya today, the figure stands at 35,020. The death toll in the country is 594 cases, and recoveries is 21,158. Uganda, 3,539 cases. 39 people have died in Uganda, and recoveries is at 1,564. South Africa, 636,884 cases. The death toll is 14,779. Recoveries is 561,204. And then we just look at the rest of the figures across Africa. And this afternoon, stands at 1,283, 1,283,121 cases have been reported in the continent. The death toll is 30,730, and recoveries in Africa is 1,020,231. So, Doctor, that is where we stand this morning. Afternoon.
Thank you very much, Miriam. The situation, are we curving? Are we bringing down the curve? But before I do that, I would request you for the link. Everybody is asking me for the link. I haven't received my link. Production team, please send a link on my WhatsApp so that I distribute it to the millions and the thousands who are waiting to watch. Very many people are saying the link is, I can't access it wherever I am because I'm not in the political command center itself. I'm respecting health regulations in this hotel. Miriam, I'm in a hotel called Sarova White Sands in Mombasa, and the situation is the hotel is actually full. It is fully booked, and everybody is going about it. But the type of cleanness, the type of strictness, washing hands, keeping a distance, wearing masks. That's why you see the regulation here. I am in the main lobby of Sarova. Behind here, you can see the water flowing, and everybody wants the masks on. You cannot move anywhere without the masks. The security will be watching, anybody watching, moving without a mask on. The only time you move your mask is when you are taking in or eating something. Thank you very much, viewers. This is exactly, are we curving the curve? Are we curving the Kenyan curve? Is it curving? Is it increasing? That is the question of the day today. And as Miriam has said, the figures seem to be going down on the weekend, and today they might be lower. It's because people have managed to do some work, and the strictness, the washing of hands, the keeping of the distance, of which the people of Kenya have accepted to keep a distance. Thank you very much, all of you. Keep your distance, wash your hands, sanitize, wear a mask, wherever you are in the Republic of Kenya and elsewhere in Africa. This is Punchline Africa Television. Over to you, Professor.
Yeah, Miriam, I should start by saying that we are doing extremely well, and Kenya being a country where we do pray, and those who are trying to follow the government protocols and regulation as given by the Minister of Health, you can see that the numbers have started coming down. We are below the 5% as recommended by World Health Organization. If we maintain this for the next 14 days, then we will say hallelujah, Miriam.
All right, very well. And Daniel?
Yes.
What do you make of these COVID-19 figures? Yes.
Yes, thank you, Miriam, and Dr. Matsanga, Professor Jared Onyari. And first of all, I would like to just comment the good work that Dr. Matsanga is doing for the rest of us who are still perhaps at home, and the rest of the country and the world at large, for showing the world that Kenya really is ready to start and resume in terms of tourism. And just saying that the hotel where he is fully packed is perhaps a manifestation that as a country we have really adhered to the measures that are given there by the World Health Organization, and therefore we present a safe haven where tourists across the world can be able to stream in and be able to enjoy the warm weather at the coastal region of the country. And of course, that also goes hand in hand with whatever we are witnessing in terms of numbers that are there in regards to COVID-19. And I believe as time goes by, we seem to have shifted from the previous high numbers that were being reported daily. And now the curve has now started taking a very steep plunging trend where we presume that perhaps now in due course we're gonna have the curve being flattened, and I think that is a very, very good progress for this country. And yesterday I happened also to see some report indicating that Kenya was among was the top in the list of countries which has been recommended to visit by tourists across the world, and I think that is something good for us. And it really tells us that we have kept the good fight, and finally, sooner or later, we're gonna have a very corona-free country, and that is a very, very commendable job to President Uhuru Kenyatta, the Cabinet Secretary for Health, Mutahi Kagwe, and the entire medical fraternity for keeping up the good spirit in this during this pandemic.
All right, very well. And Kenya's positivity rate against the samples tested has been going down with a correspondingly low number of cases. Latest scientific projections indicate that Kenya already hit its COVID-19 peak. Experts have confirmed this, and according to a study by the Kenya Medical Research Institute, that is CAMEROON, and the Ministry of Health, the peak happened before the end of July in what they term as some major urban counties with between 34 to 41% of residents being infected. However, they add that other parts of the country are likely to experience their peak within 2 to 3 months. So they're saying, yesterday I was watching that news, and they're saying, is it 2 out of 5 people in the urban centers have already contracted the COVID-19 and we got well? So I'm assuming we could be in that bracket, but we thank God. But they're saying perhaps we might be out of the worst part, but still people are still encouraged to continue wearing the masks and sanitize and wash your hands. That is the only way we can beat this COVID-19. Doctor, what do you have to say to that before we get to the headlines?
Thank you very much. Miriam, from the beginning up to today, I am one of those people who has been very, very much concerned about COVID-19, the way it started in Wuhan, the way it did its round from Wuhan. And I told people that when you see the Americans moving away, also try to move away very fast. I have been very much opposed to the regulations of the World Health Organization because of their double standards. The way they gave their double standards, the way they did not tell us to wash our hands, the way they did not tell us to have our masks, on, the way they did not even tell us. A simple thing was to wash hands immediately. If Africans had heard that washing hands saves us from a disease, I'm sure from December, November, January, February, we will not have these numbers of people dying in South Africa. I have been very consistent, and believe me or not, if this disease subsides, I am going to go to the international courts. And for me, I promise you on international law, Miriam, you know that very well. I don't fear. I'm going to the international law to find out why somebody must not be held responsible for having failed to alert the world about the washing of hands in December. This disease started in Wuhan in November, started killing people. The World Health Organization is giving money. We selected somebody called Dr. Tedros, a thief from Ethiopia. And we brought him, we gave him. We are not going to keep quiet because he's an African. And we keep quiet and sit back. No way. This man misled the world. People have died. Millions of people have died. And therefore, he must be held responsible for what he has done. He did not tell people. He committed a crime against humanity. And therefore, Miriam, believe me or not, I am not going to keep quiet, pretend and enjoy and say I will fly to this place, I will fly there, I will fly to New York. I can fly, but the people have died. Why didn't the man tell us that washing hands, only washing hands would save people? Why do we pay World Health Organization for? Why do we pay them for? Anybody in Kenya tell me why we pay World Health Organization? Why people collect their quota, their money contribution? It is for them to alert us of the disease. So now you see, because they even said something which is very wrong. They are beginning to doubt Kenya's ability, causing more confusion in the already confused state of affairs, where we have people who don't like the government of Republic of Kenya, like these other traitors who are walking around trying to drum war. They will use it and say, oh, you see, COVID in Kenya is this and that and that. This is the stupidity that I want to dismember. Thank you.
All right, very well, thank you there. So let's look at the headlines before we get into the rest of the newspaper. And I think when you look at the headlines, it might cover a lot of, the Kenyan topics. And we start with the Sunday Standard here. And it says millions gone with a stroke of a pen, and government tenders have been a honeypot for many people over the years. But in the latest war on corruption, those in crosshairs of justice are having it rough with state seizures. So according to this story, as much as there has been a lot of corruption in the past when it comes to the government institutions, but this time there seems to be some tightened and news when it comes to the fight against corruption here in the country. So they might not get away very easily like it has been in the past. Professor, what does this goes to show? Especially, we know President Uhuru Kenyatta is very particular when it comes to the war against corruption. When we continue like this, are we likely to win this very important war?
Thank you, Miriam, for that question. And I should start by saying that President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, when it comes to corruption, he has pronounced himself, and since the handshake, Miriam, they identified corruption as one of the endemic affecting this country. So when it comes to corruption, Miriam, and President Uhuru Kenyatta will go on record in history that the PS and the Cabinet Secretary for Treasury, since the independence of this country, has been shown the door, is not in office. So that is the commitment. And Miriam, people take it as if it is just a walk in the back that when, as a president, you ensure that you have people whom you have crafted to take the government forward, to allow them to be sacked, Miriam, that's the highest level of commitment towards fighting corruption. And Miriam, it is a matter of time, let me tell you, there's a lot of work going behind the scenes when it comes to fighting corruption. You normally come to see at the end tail is when you want to see that something's happened. But I want to tell you that the highest office, when there's a political will, and the president has shown this, Miriam, this is something very, very huge. And it is a matter of time if you have taken the money for people of Kenya. I have said from here, go to ethics and corruption, asset recovered, and return money of this country. We are not interested in putting you in. And the business will be over. But if you want us to come for you, we will come for you, because the president is committed. And the judiciary now, we are asking, please don't let the people of Kenya down. Speed up the cases. And as Parliament opens up, start their work, start their session, let them fast track those anti-corruption bills so that, Miriam, we fight this. Mm-hmm. So from the president and from where I sit, together with the handshake, there's a lot of commitment. And it is a matter of time you will see what these thieves is going to happen for them.
All right, well, Daniel, looking at how, corruption, the latest corruption cases and how they're being handled, and according to this story, they're saying, unlike the past, right now, these people who decide to take public money might not get away very easily because the state is going after them, recovering the assets and even the monies. And we've seen what has been happening. When we continue like this, is there hope? Finally, we might be able to win this war against corruption in the country.
Thank you, Miriam. And we have to give credit where it's due. And I think as Kenyans, it has come into the limelight quite crystal clear that President Uhuru Kenyatta has come out as one of the presidents that has shown a very, very goodwill, a very strong goodwill rather, to fight corruption and be able to take the bull by its horn. And remember, fighting corruption, for you to be effective, so many countries in the West, in the East, which have successfully fought corruption and won it, they have always started by going for the top echelon of the society, going for those the big fish in government who are involved in corruption. And Miriam, corruption is not just any other enterprise in government which can be easily fought. Remember, these are black gold enterprise which runs in similar modus operandi as cartels and mafia. So for you to be that courageous to crush the ghost of corruption, then you really must have made a very, very strong resolute to work for your nation. And I think now Kenyans have very, very strong expectation with the President Uhuru Kenyatta when it comes to the fight against corruption. And I believe at the end of it all, because he has set a very, very good precedence where it doesn't matter who you are in government, so long as you're implicated into corruption scandals, the arms of the law will come for you and you have to close your accounts with the anti-corruption agencies. I think it's a very, very good precedence of which if we can be able to cultivate it in the coming years through President Uhuru Kenyatta's predecessor, then we will have taken a paradigm shift from the previous notion where we had a very, very deep entrenched corruption culture since our independence. Remember these tasks that we failed since our independence time. This is a problem that we should have focused on. We should have started fighting corruption at the start when we got our independence, but we left this problem to persist and really get itself into our national fabric to the point that it became perceived as one of the normals in our leadership and in our governance. So I think President Uhuru Kenyatta has brought in a new dawn, and it is something that we would really, really expect that the next man who takes the baton after President Uhuru Kenyatta will be able to carry it on forward and really ferociously crush this cost of corruption in our ministries, in our departments, and in our lowest possible offices of government. I think that is the way to go. And I believe that President Uhuru Kenyatta is going to leave an impact, as he said, that this is part of his legacy. I believe he's going to leave an impact when it comes to the war against corruption.
All right, very well, Doctor. Is corruption occurs that might lead to a conflict like we've seen in Kenya and indeed in other places across Africa?
Thank you very much, Miriam. I think, first of all, let's look at corruption first. The president has made it very clear that whoever is corrupt will carry his own cross. There is nothing to, no short back, no think. Part of the problem that is bringing all this friction, the drums of war, I think the subjects are very clear, Miriam, there. Mm-hmm. And you can see the drums of war, the politics of people drumming towards a conflict simply because of corruption. From the time the president said on audit, we need audit of ourselves. We need to audit ourselves. People started grumbling against His Excellency the President. And therefore, the President is right. He has said it. If you carry your cross, why don't you carry your cross? Why don't you carry your cross? Carry it. I mean, you steal alone, then you want to bring the whole public. You have stolen the money alone, then you want to bring a crisis to the country. What is wrong with this? What is going on in this country? You have stolen the money. You are yourself with your cohorts. You go around stealing, taking kickbacks, then you destroy the country. You want to kill the country. You want all of us to look thieves. We are not all thieves. We are not all thieves. Not everybody in Kenya is a thief. When you went to steal for this money over COVID or whatever, you stole it alone. So carry the cross alone, take it home alone, yeah. Yes, people are trying. This is not the time for you to tell people lies. Oh, you can go. Even in Caiaphas. Caiaphas was the best man praying every day. Hello? You want to tell me Caiaphas was not praying? Kaifasai was praying every day. And Professor Onyari is a Christian who was preaching last night. Was it Caiaphas praying? One of the high priests was always the time praying everywhere. Yet he was plotting to destroy Jesus Christ. Was he praying a different God? No. You carry the cross. Don't drum us in. Not every Kenyan is a thief. You are only the thief who goes there. That guy of Kemsa, if it was another country like China, he would get 200 bullets in his stomach and that big head of his. Yes, because he has taken the people's money. Miriam, how do you go bypass the minister and go and apply for extra money? Are you the owner of this country? Are you the owner of this country to apply for extra money without consent from the minister? Then you come on national television, you said you even applied and bought more. I'm very disturbed. Thank you very much. You know, the question of corruption, the headline I can see on the newspaper, wherever I am, I don't know whether it is the same newspaper that you have.
Yes.
Yes, it says, where is Joho?
That is different.
You see, in Mombasa, this is the headline. We have also mafia has arrived in this newspaper. I don't know how Gideon Moi would explain
Doctor,
why
our headline here, what we have here, is the one up there.
What about this? Is this not the headline in Nairobi?
No, what the headline we have today is inside Uhuru's politicking cabinet. That is what we have here on our side. I did not know it was different. For a moment there, I thought production was wrong.
This is, as an investigative journalist, this is what I'm catching. I'm catching these guys. We have a problem with these people. People are playing about with people's lives in this country. You give one story, one country does not know that there is stealing. One country knows that Joho is disappearing when Ruto is in the coast. And another part of Kenya knows different story. Am I wrong here? What is going on in Gideon Moi's publication? Is Gideon Moi in charge of this newspaper? Is stuck there waiting for us to do all the donkey work for him? So, we are fed up.
Right.
We are fed up.
Doctor, before we get fed up there, what I have here.
Listen first. This station and the newspaper must be warned. Where is the Minister of Information? Where is the Minister of Information and Communication? You cannot give the same country two different stories. This is how you make people fight in a country. This can spark a very big conflict. Mujeru must come in and check this. The system, the intelligence system must check this type of misinformation that is going around the country. Thank you.
Yes.
That is what I see.
This is what mine looks like from this side, quite different.
Mine looks this way.
Yes.
Mine looks this.
All right.
In this country,
I think mine and professors must be looking like this because we're in Nairobi.
Mombasa looks different.
Yes. I think that is...
Mombasa is different from the newspaper in Nairobi. We want to ask Gideon Moi, the owner of this newspaper, why they look different. And I'm going to take it up seriously. This is creating a conflict with the people of Kenya. People in Nairobi are reading something different, and in Mombasa they read something different. This is not acceptable. Thank you.
All right, so on the Sunday Standard here, they're saying inside Uhuru's politicking cabinet, the war within president promised a cabinet devoid of politicians, but lately the top organ is divided as a group coalescing around the interior CS adopts campaign mode while overseeing state projects drawing protests. And we saw CS Tobiko over the weekend. He was not very amused with Murkomen particularly. there. So people are saying perhaps
For example, Miriam,
yes,
you have to explain to me what that headline is. My headline has nobody, no CS.
Doc, so my headline here is up
is
here
at the
for
top.
you. For you, it's at the top. For you, what we have as headline here is what you have at the top there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then we have a very big problem here. I think don't even use the standard now.
Yeah, it's confusing. Let's just leave that alone. I think it's confusing there.
Bring the Nation, the Daily Nation. I hope it has the same story. Mine is the story from Mombasa is inside the battle to kick out IEBC. Is that the story you have?
That is the same story.
Professor, is that the same story you have?
Yes, it's.
Oh, that one. At least the Daily Nation has got it.
No, even this is good for commenting, Miriam.
Yes?
Yes.
You want to say something?
Top,
yes. You can say something before you get to the Sunday Nation then. Professor, go ahead.
So, Miriam, I want to associate myself with the words of the CS Tobiko. And Miriam and Dr. Masanga, we should find some time to teach the people of Kenya and the world and Africa the symbol of presidency. The presidency of a country is a symbol of unity. It unites the people of Kenya. It's not, the president is not Jared, it's not anybody else. It's a symbol of unity. And we should be able to know how we address that office, Miriam.
Yes.
In fact, it's because we have refused to do our civil duty. That's why now you find that CS like Tobiko cannot stomach that kind of nonsense. And the sooner Mukomen stops addressing the president as if he's a houseboy, the better. And in fact, let me tell you, the behavior of Mukomen and others can be a recipe of conflict and chaos in a country. Let them know that the president has got supporters who don't feel kind that when he's being insulted. So this is how Tobiko came in. And let me tell you, when you want to tell the CS to not to involve themselves in politics, you heard what Murata said the other day. These CS, the cabinet secretaries, are serving under the cutters of the president. If the president goes tomorrow home, they will go. So they have got every duty to tell Kenyans to respect the institution of the president. That's what Tobiko was saying, and people are reading a lot of malice out of that. So I personally associate with what Tobiko said. I associate with those cabinet secretaries who are supporting the president to execute his agenda. Miriam, what about those CS who are just quiet, who can see no evil, talk no evil, hear no evil? So Miriam, I am with the CS, and those of us who are the supporters of the president, we should come forward and say that this nonsense must stop. Respect, even if you don't like Kuru, don't like him, but respect the institution of the presidency. That's what unites this country.
All right, very well. So, Daniel, we've seen this.
Can I come in? Because I'm about to go.
Okay.
I have made myself very clear. And I have written in black and white that you touch President Uhuru Kenyatta, you touch me. So I will respond. There's nothing that Ruto will do. If he doesn't want me here, I will go. But I will not defend him. I will defend President Uhuru Kenyatta. Did you want to hear that? Hear the statement today. I am not bothered. Because there is nothing to be happy about. This guy went under dismantled his friend's legacy. It is only 2 years left. We have no legacy. He's killing it every day. He's destroying it every day. He's talking about it. He has accumulated wealth. He's now going to churches in Mlolongo, raising people's expectation to come to the streets. You people, you deal with your problem now. For me, my problem is that one. I will defend President. President Uhuru Kenyatta does not pay me to defend him. So why should somebody who does not pay you to defend him get annoyed when you are defending him. I'm not defending him wrongly. I've written, you saw my article yesterday, Prof. I agree with you. If you are insulting the president, Murkomen is insulting the president every day. And Murkomen was one of the people who crafted the evidence that took these two people to court. Hassan Omar. You remember Hassan Omar? You
Yes,
remember Murkomen?
Right, yeah.
We know them, Makau Mutua, Maina Kiai, Gradiele Otieno. These guys are in this country. They crafted evidence to take the president to ICC. And to take Ruto to ICC, I am shocked that Ruto today is a darling of Murkomen. Can we reveal start printing out evidence of OTP number 5?
We should.
Yes. If Murkomen continues talking, we shall print out what he wrote about Ruto. And we are not going to keep quiet. Thank you. Let him take a warning shot from now that we are not going to keep quiet. You insulted the president again, we shall publish what you wrote in the ICC. You are one of the witnesses. Yes, 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 and I don't speak without facts. You know me, Miriam. Yes, you know me. Let Murkomen go on insulting the president again. We shall publish all the statement he wrote. He's a witness, OTP number 52 something. I can't tell you the last one, because that would be breaking the rules of the Article 170. He's still covered. We have just kept quiet. Him and the Senator Nandi sang. They should not talk. Makau Mutua should not talk. Makau Mutua can write his nonsense. These are stupid people, very stupid. They just go on damaging people's reputation. They got money from ICC. They came, they wanted these people jailed. Now they have seen them, they are not jailed. They have come back again with another wave of lies. Sorry. Thank you.
All right, very well. Daniel, before we just jump into the other newspaper there inside Uhuru's Political Cabinet, and then you find that people are complaining that some of these CSs look like they talk politics, and yet that was not supposed to be what is happening right now. But we see the
well, so we have that. Miriam, let me jump in. I'm about to go because I am going for another assignment. Let me jump in. The CS also, everybody has got a friend. They are entitled to their word. You cannot go on insulting my friend, and then because you tell me I should not defend. The four CSs are correct. Yes, Tobiko and Matiangi, that is good. This is a good challenge. Let them also know there are people who can challenge and defend the president. You cannot go insulting the president. Are you the president? Why were you not selected the president? Kwenda. Why were you not selected the president? Mwache Kwenda. The president's power comes from God, man. Even if you pray to God, if you have not been selected by God, you will not get it. Ash. Am I wrong, Chamberlain?
You are 100% right.
The power comes from God. Go and read the Romans.
That's it.
Yesterday I quoted for you the book. Man, I read the book. Don't speak stupidly. I hate people who speak like stupid people. Kwenda. Mwache. Murukomen, you can even swing yourself. You don't even have a road going to your house. Then you also want to insult Uhuru Kenyatta. Kwenda.
He's even staying in the forest land.
Yes. This is a very bad boy. A bad senator. Wanaiba pesa za umma every day. People are dying of hunger. People are dying of COVID. Then you are politicking. You take 400 days to reach your house for Christmas. He has to start now before Christmas because he doesn't have a road. Kwenda Mirukomen, akuje. We shall produce all those documents. Thank you very much.
All right, very well. Daniel, just on that before we move to the next newspaper, we see a lot of these CSS, they're dragged, their names are dragged, by the politicians. So is it right for them to come out and defend themselves, or are they now engaging in politics?
There's a Swahili proverb which says kuki kwa nguruwe kwa binadamu ni mchungu, and that really explains the scenario here where we are having William Ruto on the other side with his allies on a daily basis, taking a platform to insult President Uhuru Kenyatta and really derail his agenda. But when a CS comes in and says that it is very, very inappropriate for a senator to be insulting the president and derailing an agenda and really demeaning the CS. And actually, whatever CS Keriako Tobiko was doing was only firing back a warning shot after Murkomen had previously called him a clerk in government. So he was actually just trying to put perspective in whatever is happening in government. And Miriam, as much as these CSs and all the appointees of government are not politicians as per the constitution, we have to understand that these their appointments are motivated by politics, and therefore you cannot expect them to work in a government where they don't have a political perspective. They cannot fight with their hand, one of their hand tied at the back, in that they are dealing with the political class, and when the political class is on their offense, it's on the offensive, then they cannot fight back. We need to have a balance. We need to have a political class that will be able to support these cabinet secretaries to be able to deliver their services. And whatever CS Keriako Tobiko was doing was just, if you look at it, it's a defensive mechanism towards an unsurging political class that is there to be able to derail whatever duties he's been assigned by the president. And as Professor Jared Onyari said, as Dr. Matsanga said, President Uhuru Kenyatta has friends, and these friends have every right to defend whatever agenda, whatever policies, whatever ambitions the president believes for the people of Kenya. And therefore, it was very right for Keriako Tobiko to act in a manner in which he acted. And I thank him, actually. He was a bit very professional in responding to that. Would it been any other politician, then these people will still be complaining about the remarks up to today. So I think it's not politics per se, but it's being on the defensive as a cabinet secretary who is under siege from a very, very careless political class.
All right, very well. So before we get to the main headline there on the Sandys Nation, Doctor?
Thank you very much, Miriam. Miriam, let me finish. I just want to finish I want to start going. I've just listened to the speech by the Deputy President in Mlolongo, in the ASK Church. I am really disturbed by that speech. And the speech is, he says, Paulo was saying, even the thieves can come and preach. I'm Paulo in Judea. Ametoka kusema na saa hii, if you can listen at 1 o'clock, he says, Paulo said they can come and preach, even those who have stolen can come and preach, as long as they are preaching the name of God, the word of God. Nowhere, no. Paulo said, and I want to correct His Excellency the Deputy very nicely, Paulo said, I am here to teach you the best way because I was the wrong man. First reconcile. Reconcile first, come and say clean, I was a thief, but I've come back here in Judea to preach you. Aterere.
What's the word?
Yes, reconcile first. Ndio uende kuambia watu Paulo. What Paulo do you know? Wacha. Achana na hiyo man. Wacha. Yes.
And of course,
some of us read this thing in a very good schools. We are not going to be intimidated by people who by luck. Whose exams were written for. Now, thank you very much. Miriam, I just want to say my word. that I am sorry. I am a Christian. I'm very disappointed. When somebody says, Paul came and said, do what you want, it is sad.
All right.
Very sad. And thank you very much. Enjoy your show, the rest of the show. The hotel is fantastic. It is full of people. The capacity is 3/4. It is actually full capacity. The whole of this place is full. If you go to the dining, it is full. It is exactly what activities are going on. But one of the things that I want to tell you that the world and those watching is keep your hands, wash your hands, keep your sanitizer in Mombasa. People are strictly with this. And that's why you see the rate of infection in Mombasa has gone down. In this hotel, there are regulations. Every angle you turn to, there is water. And there is somebody telling you, reminding you, in case you want to go to eat without washing, to wash your hands. In case you have finished eating without washing, to wash them before you leave. So please, thank you very much, viewers. Thank you very much, my fellow colleagues. I am from back to the headquarters. I am thanking you so much for giving me this opportunity, Miriam. This is live from Mombasa, Sarova White Sands Hotel, one of the places where people are coming in. I've just seen, when I look at the reception right now, quite huge numbers of those coming in. It means people have started coming in. Slowly, slowly, the situation is improving. The industry will improve. And I thank God. And I say here they have changed quite a lot of things. It is not the normal buffet. It is now a selection of what you want to eat. More fruits, more drinks are being given so that you fight coronavirus. And the cleanliness is of the essence. I thank all of you. I look forward to being with you in the studios tomorrow morning. Thank you very much. Back to the studio in Nairobi. From the Political Command Center, shifted a mobile unit in Mombasa, Sarova White Sands Hotel. Good afternoon.
All right, a very good afternoon, Doctor, and of course, there are safe travels. And we turn our attention to the Sunday Nation here. And before we get to the main headline there, it says no more state planes for Ruto. The Deputy President will not use military or police aircraft in his tours of the country anymore, his close confidants have said. Whether this is a personal choice or the product of uncomfortable circumstances is not clear. But one thing is, Mr. Ruto is now a flying commercial. I don't know, Professor, what do you make of this? Because I think by the mere fact, not the mere fact, by the fact that Deputy President is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, and there is a protocol, especially when it comes to his travel, to ensure his safety and things like this. And so it is said that he will no longer be traveling with the military, helicopters he used to travel with around the country. Rather, he'll be now flying commercial there. And the nation is saying they don't know whether it's a personal choice or according to the circumstances that are prevailing right now. But what are some of the dangers that we're staring at with this move?
Miriam, this headline is misleading.
Mm-hmm.
William Ruto is still the deputy president for the Republic of Kenya. Mm-hmm. When he will be traveling for official use, he will be entitled for that. But if he's going to Morongo to do his kind of things, his personal things, like he going to the church, can we give you an helicopter?
Maybe
so
not.
People must differentiate when he's doing his personal errands and the things which are official. So I want to believe that when he's on official duty, he will do his work. But he's on a campaign mood. He was in Mombasa doing things nothing to do with the people of Kenya, doing nothing to do with us as a deputy president, going to castigate, going to be against the PPI. So when he's doing his personal errands, he will use commercial flights. And when he's doing the official duty, he will use the police helicopter and And that kind of, that's what I have to say, that Miriam, and let us not read a lot of malice on this. If you want to, Miriam, let me tell you again. I have said, and I don't know whether the deputy president listens or finds time to do this. Respect your boss and get assignment from your boss. If your boss is after the regas, support him.
Prof.
If
Prof, are you able to improve on your lighting there?
If he's telling you this is the time to work, and you choose to go on the politics, you are Miriam. Who will give you those kind of facilities?
Yeah, are you able to work on your lighting? I'm being told it's a bit dark there. Are you able to get some more lighting there? Perhaps put your lights on from where you are. Okay, as a professor is doing that, Daniel, so the story is on page 21 of the Daily Nation. It says, when Deputy President William Ruto left Nairobi for Mombasa on August 28th, two things stood out. One, he boarded a commercial Kenya Airways plane, and two, spent the night at a private hotel. There were no military planes to take him to the coastal city and back to Nairobi, as it is the norm. He was not accommodated at his official residence there. So this story, and going by, Professor's explanation there, I mean, it will make sense, right?
Yeah, Miriam, this is a story that the Daily Nation has really given a disclaimer saying that it doesn't know if it's from the William Samoei's perspective or the government side. So Professor seems to have answered if it is from the government side, of which he has done it quite efficiently and sufficiently, saying that if you are on your own personal errands as the deputy president, then the government is not compelled to offer you such kind of privileges as offering you a private jet, or maybe all those stipends that come with your position. And I totally agree. We should not be doing that using state resources, because it is even in our constitution in terms of electoral laws and everything, using our state machinery to do campaigns and all that, which is the thing the deputy president is doing at the moment. And then now let's look at the other side of the coin. What if it is from the deputy president side? Then I think that will be unnecessarily, he will be unnecessarily pushing the nation into a very indecent brink of tension, because this is the deputy president, and he wants to make the rest of us Kenyans feel like perhaps the state is mistreating him in some kind of manner. I think that is very divisionary, and it brings a lot of unnecessary political tensions across the country, especially in regions where he is perceived to be his stronghold. And Miriam, for a fact, if you are a deputy president, now I'm speaking from this other perspective, leave alone what Professor talked about from the state. I'm speaking if it is from William Ruto's side. I think if it reaches a point where a deputy president of a country, you feel that you don't trust the machineries of your own state, you don't trust the military, you don't trust even the state accommodation that you are offered by the country, then perhaps it's also an indicator that it's very, very high time that you resign from the state, because you believe that you are an enemy of this particular enterprise that you are serving in. So I think that is my perspective from that. And adding to what Prof has said, I think now we give it a very equal opinion in regards to the story on the Daily Nation.
Right, and before I just leave that alone, this is what Emmanuel Talam, his deputy spokesperson there, said in line with that story, that he is not the complaining type. Quite interesting there. He wants the president to build his legacy and is committed to help him achieve that, said Mr. Talam. He declined to comment on whether the DP's office has in recent times sought to get a military or police plane. But Mr. Caleb Kositany, MP for Soy, waxed lyrical on the issue, saying Mr. Ruto is increasingly becoming an independent candidate, relying on personal logistical solutions as opposed to state offerings. Prof, what is wrong with that statement there? He's becoming increasingly independent candidate. I thought he's the deputy president as we speak right now. Are we even talking about candidates? What is wrong with it? Yes.
Then Miriam, it confirms our fears, which we have said here. And Miriam, if it was on an ordinary employment, and this is the kind of nonsense we need to fix from our constitution. He has deserted duty, and when you desert duty, you are supposed to be summarily be sacked. You can't say that you are become independent. You are going on government assignment, official assignment, and then you use yours and you tell Miriam there is something amiss. And what we need to do, Miriam, this kind of statement here, and I want to tackle it from peace and conflict expert. This one can cause conflict in the country. This one is supporters may not take it kindly because they will see that the deputy president is being mistreated and being tormented. So Miriam, what I will say that the deputy president should search himself and go back to 2013, and for heaven's sake, go to his boss, who is the president, and they discuss. So what Ram is trying to say, and Kareb, they are trying to connive and try to think that we cannot be able to give an in-depth analysis on that. Miriam, this one can cause problem in this country because if his supporters, everybody has got his supporters. What will they perceive the government to be? So Miriam, let the deputy president come back, go for his official duty. If he's entitled for military choppers for his security, fine. Miriam, look at it again. He's using commercial to go and roam around the country. What will happen if there is a mishap with these commercial flights, which we are not even very sure of? So Miriam, we are so much concerned with the security of the deputy president. He is part of the presidency which needs to be respected. Let him guard himself and tell his supporters and the ranks that what the kind of things they say are not good. And in fact, he should be able to come out and say this is not the case. That's what I have to say, Miriam, on that. Let us not create unnecessary friction for no apparent reason. There is no independence. What actually shows that he has decided duty. He is no longer interested to work in the same government. 2 years is much a longer period in time in the policy, Miriam, that we cannot afford to paying you a salary for work being not done. You just go to the president and say that I'm ready to work, or let me just go and concentrate in my 2022 politics. But Miriam, to aspire is not to become.
All right. Very well. Okay. There. So the main headline there on the Sunday Nation says, inside the battle to kick out IEBC, as the political animosity between William Ruto and the handshake brothers Uhuru Kenyatta. Sunday Nation and how they coined that. The handshake brothers, Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga's escalate. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is next frontier of the clash, with one camp angling to reconstitute it while the other one's commissioners to stay put. The tragedy is in the muted implications of this move. Even as we start with the active politicking as we head towards 2022, which is a bit just less than 2 years from now, but you've seen the momentum gaining there. And of course, one key thing that is at the center of this that nobody seems to have been talking about in the recent past is the IEBC. And I don't know, as it is right now, it has 3 commissioners. So in case one of them is not feeling well or something happens, then there will be they can't even make any proper decisions in regards to the running of that institution. And here they say that IEBC will be the next in terms of the some of these changes that we've been seeing. I mean, changes in IEBC, are they inevitable, Daniel?
Yes, thank you, Miriam. And first of all, let's begin from where we got IEBC from ECK, previously of Kibwitu. And the reason why we brought IEBC into this space is because we needed a change in our electoral system, in that we do not have a scenario where elections are bungled a situation that plunges the masses of this country into unnecessary chaos and violence. Expectations from IEBC and its leadership in delivering free, fair, and credible elections. But as time goes by, it has proven that IEBC is inefficient, it is lacking, and it does not measure up to the hour. And its leadership has failed to meet the expectation of the people of the country. And as it is right IEBC right now, Miriam, it cannot conduct a free, fair, and credible election, even at a ward level. It lacks the credibility. And therefore, it is only noble that all the political players agree and come together for the interest of the people of this country to push for the reconstitution and the reforms of electoral boundaries and independent electoral and boundaries commission. Because as it is right now, Miriam, its image is quite dented grievously. The chairman himself, Wafula Chebukati, has been accused of a number of issues. The commission has been accused of grievous corruption scandals. Dr. Matsanga has always revealed here that the commission was working in cohorts with the Third Way Alliance party to steal some signatures from its database for it to be able to assist the Third Way Alliance to push its private party agenda. So these matters of integrity really leaves its reputation quite in tatters, and it diminishes it of the trust and the credibility before the eyes of the Kenyan people. And therefore, it is only important and urgent that we reconstitute IBC. We push out all these corrupt characters in IBC, inefficient, inept people who have been there overseeing all this kind of impunity happening there out of the IBC, so that we get a very efficient team, a team which is quite up to the task and which is committed to ensuring that Kenyans have a free, fair, and credible elections come 2022.
All right, very well. So this is what the Speaker of the National Assembly, Justin Muturi, is quoted as saying. It is there on the front pages of the Sunday Nation. He says, "I'm aware of some court judgments that urged Parliament to review election-related laws before the next election. This needs to be looked at now and early enough." Are we even early enough, or we're, these changes even, should they happen? Is time even on our side if we were to really effect these changes?
Miriam, thank you for that question. And remember, in 2017, this country was heading towards a serious conflict and anarchy, if God could have not spoken to the Prime Minister and the President to shake hands. Take to the bank and we know that we were heading towards that. Remember, Miriam, the presidential elections was nullified by the Supreme Court. Something which rarely happens in the rest of the world. It goes without saying, Miriam, someone bungled those elections. And up to now, we have not been told who bungled with the elections. Then Miriam, even if you are a kindergarten kid, you want the same people who bungled the election to go and do those kind of elections, Miriam? Even if I don't know what kind of words I use. You trust these people that they can have credible elections? I'm happy that the judiciary has pronounced itself, it has given an order. And nobody will say that there's no time, there's nothing. It is a court order and it must be complied with. And I'm happy the Speaker of the National Assembly must be able to fast track these bills, taken to the business committee, and then therefore before the floor of the House, we start dealing with the current officials, commissioners, so that they go home. You know, Miriam, when we go to play football or any game, if you think that the referee will not be a good arbiter, he's not being trusted by other parties, why should you go to play for that game? When you know very well, this is a person who is biased against you. So Miriam, electoral commissions, electoral bodies in most countries in the world, there have been causes of conflicts. Remember 2007. Remember the kind of words the rate Kivitu was trying to say. He would even say that I don't know who has won. I know they are cooking the figures. You see those kind of reckless, and you know what happened in this country? So Miriam, it is not about the question about time. I know this thing can be done within 21 days and we can have those bills for the sake of the country, Miriam. And what we are trying to say, I don't know why this other side, why they fear. We want to do what we did in 1997, Miriam, and IBBT, which was being spearheaded by my former member of parliament, the late Church Anyona, and Sasura Samba, MP from Northeastern. We agree that let every party bring their person. And in fact, in 1997, we had good elections, and those commissioners even did the election of 2002. So Miriam, we must have commissioners who are acceptable to Tanga, to PPI, to everybody else, and even to yourself. When you go to cast your vote matters. So Miriam, the changes are inevitable.
All right, Ina Hassan, nice to see you this very chilly afternoon here in Nairobi. You're saying IEBC has no iota of credibility. It is not independent, fair, and needs to be disbanded ASAP or ASAP. But Caleb Kositany, the member of Parliament of Soy, seems to be, not agreeing with you, as is quoted here as saying, the current IEBC can manage the next general elections. Remember, the Kruger report advised that you cannot change membership of the IEBC 2 years to an election. So essentially, we're running behind schedule here, Daniel.
Yes, Miriam, when you hear such sentiments from an elected member of parliament, a lawmaker, then it really sends chills down your spine as a Kenyan, because we expect a member of parliament and an enactor of law to be someone who believes in the credibility of any political process that happens in this country. And IEBC notwithstanding, because as Professor Jared Onyari has said, elections have been always the bone of contention in this country, and violence has always stemmed from contestations from these bungled elections since 1992 and up to 2007, 2008, where we had an escalation of violence to its pinnacle. And it's really disturbing that Caleb Kositany, who is the Deputy Secretary General of the ruling party, to utter such words. And perhaps now that one confirms, Miriam, that these are beneficiaries of the electoral fraud that has been perpetuated over time by IEBC. And since they fear that if we brought in new credible players at the helm of the IEBC, they are going to miss out playing these dirty games of rigging the elections. Now they feel perhaps their interest is quite at risk, and they cannot support such an agenda. I want to say categorically that, Miriam, the peace of this country is such an important agenda, in that even if we had to extend the term of the current ruling government by even a year so that we can be able to fix the electoral rot that is in the IEBC, so be it. That will be a good agenda for Kenyans, because it's better we extend the mandate of the President Uhuru Kenyatta and Parliament for 1 year and be able to fix this perennial problem with a finality, rather than leave the country to stride on a very tainted carpet, which will be haunting us for years to come. So, and we have, and this is a topic that is in the public debate already. Some legislators have talked about it, extending the mandate of Parliament and the President, so that we be able to sort our present before we can be able to take a foray into the future. And I think that is a cost that we are really prepared to pay as a country, rather than living in perpetual fear of bungled elections and ethnic violence every electoral year. So when it comes to elections and reforms, as Professor Jared Onyari says, it is something that has to be done, whatever come what may. We have to sort the mess at the IEBC before we proceed for the next election.
All right, very well. So that is that. And just a public announcement there. If you're planning to get married at the AG's office, if you're a Kenyan, or you're in Nairobi and you plan to go to the AG's office, the venue has been changed. So for the next 3 months, all the weddings that are intended to be happening at the AG's office will be done at City Primary School, because in line with the COVID-19 measures. I don't know why they will put such a notice right now, because, I mean, we're flattening the curve. Did they not say this earlier? So now they want to, but it's a good thing. But I mean, is it even a little too late for that? But anyway, if you're planning to get married at the AG's office now, the new venue will be at the City Primary School, in line with the measures that have been put in place by the Ministry of Health through the advice of the World Health Organization of COVID-19 safety measures, there, social distancing and all of that. So the venue has moved. So now let's just leave the Kenyan stories alone and go to the other stories across Africa. And we start with Tanzania, where they're planning to do the elections under the covers of COVID-19. But we know Tanzania really has declared they do not have the COVID-19 anymore. And despite the COVID crisis, or perhaps because of it, public gatherings have acquired a new meaning in the country, where President Magufuli yesterday declared the reports the only anti-pandemic measures at the CCM rally, when President Magufuli, right now, they're in an active, campaigning mode. The elections are supposed to be happening on the 28th of next month. So what the president advised Tanzanians who are attending this rally to do, I'm confused, is just to have their temperatures checked and to hand sanitize. Like, I'd rather you just wear your masks. What is this? Professor, help me. I'm confused. Do we have COVID in Tanzania or not?
Miriam, let me tell you that if I personally, I had the opportunity to sack Magufuli, I could have done it the other day. He has become one of the responsible leaders in the continent of Africa. He is not a doctor, he's nobody else, and I want to know, Miriam, what his advisors are trying to tell him. So if I were him, let him just be advised on what the pandemic is. He has already branded, and even in fact the other day I saw that someone trying to tell us that even the economy of Tanzania has done pretty very well during this COVID-19, and I was saying, my God, the world was closed. You were trading with who? So Miriam, for the sake of taking the continent of Africa forward, we need progressive leaders. We need leaders who work in cooperation with other leaders and who compare notes and be able to know where is he taking Tanzania, where is the region going, and where is the continent of Africa saying. So trying to come out that you take the temperature and you sanitize yourself is someone who is in touch with the reality of what COVID-19 is. He has already branded, squandered his time. Nobody is not respected international. And remember, Miriam, hear this. He has refused to cooperate with the World Health Organization. We are not getting figures. I am sure someone will be charged for having committed crimes against humanity, because this is a pandemic and you are treating it very casual, very casual. COVID-19, Miriam, kills, and it kills in big ways. So, President Magufuli, for the sake of people of Tanzania, get advice from your doctors, medical researchers. Let them advise you on what to say. And it is not a must if you have got nothing to say. Keep quiet instead of washing your ignorance in a public like that.
And he's a scientist, by the way. He majored. Without. These are the ones who get certificates. Oh Lord.
He should have known, Miriam.
Daniel, you know what I find to be funny here?
There's no testing going in Tanzania.
Yes.
We don't have the figures. We don't know what's happening. He's cracking down the media, Miriam. Mm-hmm. How will you know?
Yes.
How many people have died? If there's no postmortem being done, you die with the grave, the grave. And if the opposition try to raise this one, they are being harassed. Mm-hmm. But what you want to say, Mr. President, be responsible. Compare your nose with Kagame, Kaguta, Uhuru Kenyatta, the one for Burundi, the one from Malawi, the one from DRC, so that we take Africa. We become proud, Miriam. When we find progressive leaders in the continent of Africa, we become a laughing stock among the people of other nations in the world.
So, Daniel, what I find to be funny, or maybe not, because this is a matter of life and death, is that when you're attending these rallies, the CCM rallies right now, what they do is just they take your temperature and then they sanitize you. And, you know, you get the COVID-19, science has proved, through transmission, cough, mouth, you know, the face. So sanitizing and taking temperatures, that is just, that is ridiculous.
You know, Tanzania has been in a state of denial since the onset of COVID-19 in its soil. And you remember at the very beginning, they were also doing the testing. And it reached a point where they stopped doing the testing, and now they told people there was no corona. After some time, there were cases of people contracting corona and collapsing and dying. And then we saw some regional leaders of government issuing strict measures to the people of Tanzania to wear a mask, to keep social distancing and all that. But later on, President Magufuli again retracted from the previous position of government, then allowing citizens to mingle freely without regards to COVID-19 precautions. So now to prove this state of confusion and I guess what being done in Tanzania is the fact that President Magufuli has since then held consistently the point that there's no corona in Tanzania. And I happen to speak to most people, my contacts in Tanzania, and they tell you in Tanzania here, we do not have corona. Corona is only in Kenya and other African countries that are putting on masks and following these measures by the World Health Organization. So to show the denial in this is the fact that despite them believing that there's no corona in Tanzania, they still had to take their temperatures. For what reason? They still had to advise their people to apply hand sanitizers before going for the rally. For what reason? This only tells you that beneath this facade that there is no corona in Tanzania, there is deep-rooted fears that this disease is amongst its population, and they are only perhaps maybe scared to come out again clearly to contradict their earlier stand, their recent stand that there was no disease in Tanzania. So I believe for Tanzania, it's quite chaotic situation there. There's here we have corona in the population, but the president has blatantly refused the existence of corona in Tanzania, simply because perhaps, Miriam, of the political and maybe personal interest. Because we have an election which is coming, they have to campaign and be able perhaps to win this election. Now they cannot regard saving the lives of people by maybe having a caretaker government until this pandemic is over, or perhaps maybe just restraining election all the same. So to me, I think the case in Tanzania is quite complicated. And if anything, perhaps Tanzanians are just lucky because we have reported very low infection numbers and deaths in Africa. And perhaps now that is why we are not seeing whatever happened in Italy, whatever is happening in the USA, happening in Tanzania because of our African genealogy and maybe immunity. But if things were to go the way it happened in Italy, then Tanzania will be on the brink of devastation.
But I think there's no way to know what's really happening in Tanzania, because recently they brought in new laws, especially around media and national security, that bars you cannot even do a story on COVID-19. You will be jailed, like, period. And that bill was passed there in Tanzania. So there's no really telling about the real situation there in Tanzania. And Ina Hassan, you're saying nothing strange in what's happening in TZ. What do you expect from a nation that tried to fight the colonial government using witchcraft? Okay. All right, very well. So now let's just get into, yes. Jeketile, I think.
And all that.
Yeah, so they have a very interesting history there.